Welcome to IceLedger, a comprehensive account system. If you're new to IceLedger, then please be sure to check out the other videos in the series. In this video, we are going to look at getting the system configured for sending emails and how to create your own custom email templates. Before we start, we must make sure that our system is configured correctly for sending emails. So let's go to Settings, Configurations, and click on Workstation. Now your Templates folder must be set correctly. This must point to the parent folder of where the email's templates are to be kept. With this set, let's go to Email. Here we define the settings for our mail server that will be used for sending all the emails. If you check the Send Direct option, then the system will attempt to send the emails directly to the recipient's designated mail server. Although this is the easiest and simplest way, it is not recommended. This will be significantly slower, and if the recipient server is busy, the sending of the emails will fail. Think of this as the last resort rather than the first option. All emails are sent through an SMTP server. Here we will need to enter the details of your actual mail server. You can find these details in either your mail client or from your email service provider. Failing that, as a last resort, you can search the web for How to find my SMTP server settings. Your SMTP server will have a designated port number, which is typically 25, 465 or 587, though some servers deliberately use non-standard ports. Under Security Settings, select the appropriate option for your server. Start TLS or SSL/TLS. Unless you have your own dedicated mail server, your server will require you to authenticate that you are authorized to send messages through the server. Tick this and enter your user login ID, which for the majority of the servers tends to be your email address. Enter your email password. Check the Show option to make sure there is no typing error. Carbon copy. Whenever IceLedger sends an email, you can set it to send a copy of the email to another email address that you can enter here. This email address will be visible to the intended recipient. In each of the email address fields, you can enter the display name as well as the email address. I think the email addresses always look better with a display name. Simply enter the display name followed by a space. This space is very critical, so make sure you don't skip it. Then enter the actual email address enclosed in angle brackets. Blind carbon copy. This is the same as the carbon copy address above, with the exception that the email address is not visible to the intended recipient. All emails that are sent out must have a From email address, which you can set in each email template. If there is no From email address specified in the template, the system will use this as the From address. It's a good idea to enter a From email address in here, in case you forget to enter one in the template. Some mail servers require that the from email address be different from perhaps your actual email address that you want to use. If that is indeed the case, then enter your email address or the email address that you want recipients to reply to. Otherwise, leave it blank. Occasionally, you may have issues sending emails to particular destinations because of the recipient's mail server settings. From experience, it has been found that if IceLedger pretends to be Mozilla Mail Client when sending emails, the messages are accepted by a vast majority of the mail servers. If this is blank, or you have inadvertently made changes to this, you can set it back to its original settings by clicking the Reset button. By default, the settings apply to all workstations on your network. However, there are times when one or more workstations may require different settings. If that is the case, then go to each of these workstations, make the necessary changes, and check the Workstation Only option before saving. If previously the settings have already been applied for the current workstation, then the Load Global Settings button will become available. You can use this button to reset the workstation settings to the same as those for other workstations. Now that we have configured our mail server settings, let's click on Save and move on to creating our email template. Go to Reports, Email Templates to display the Templates browser screen. Just below the toolbar, you will find the location of where the email templates are stored. On the left-hand side of the screen, you will see a tree view of the different template types. You can click on a branch to see the selected template types. You can select a template by clicking on it and then use the Edit button to make changes, or you can click on an existing template and click the Copy button to create a copy of an existing template to modify. For now, let us assume that we want to create a new template for sending out sales invoices to customers. To create a new template, select the sales invoices from the list of template types and click the New button on the toolbar. You will be presented with a blank screen that looks very similar to a screen for creating a new email message, with a few exceptions. First of these being the Type Selector button just below the Save button. Click this button to select the email template type you wish to create. For our purpose, expand the Sales section and select Invoice Details and click OK. Make sure you have the correct template type selected because once saved, it cannot be changed. Selecting the template type determines what information is available for customizing the email content. Just above the email body section, there are two drop-down list views: List of Tables and list of fields from the selected table that we can use to customize the email content. By selecting a table in the first drop-down list, we can select a field from the selected table as the source of data to insert into the email at runtime. To insert the field into the email template, First, select the appropriate table and field, and whilst holding the Control key, left-click the mouse button to insert the field at the text cursor. Have a little practice to get used to inserting different fields. Once you are ready to proceed, follow my lead and fill in the details. Feel free to make your own changes. You can specify which email address the messages are from. If left blank, the from email address in system configurations will be used. There must be a valid from email address for email messages to be sent. For all email addresses, you can also enter a display name. For example, John Smith, followed by a space, and then the email address within angle brackets. Again, I stress the space between the display name and the email address is critical. Recipient email address. We can select the contact name and email address from the customer table. Feel free to select any email address field. For example, email address 2 or email address 3 that you use to save a valid email address. Please note, if you routinely save the display name in the email address field, then do not enter the display name as we have done here. If we want to send a copy of the email to another email address, then we can enter that here. If a CC address is also specified in the system configurations, then that will also be added to the CC list. Similarly, we can send a copy of the email to another email address as a blind carbon copy, which will not be revealed to the recipient. In the subject field, you can enter any text or data fields. Here we have our company name, document type, whether it's invoice or credit note, invoice or credit note number, and the name of the company that the invoice or credit note is for. Again, in the body, you can enter any combination of text and data fields. In the customer and supplier records, you can enter a greeting in the greetings field and use it as a salutation. For example, Dear Chris or Dear Mr. Thomas. If you want to jazz up your emails, then tick the HTML option to the top right of the body section. With this checked, you can use all the additional controls to change the size, font, and color of the template content. Any text typed in the email template will be printed as is when an email is created from the template. All the fields from the different tables will be replaced with the actual details from the tables. Once you are happy with your template, click the Save button to save. In the email template browser screen, you can click on an email template to select it and click the Preview button to preview the email that would be generated. The preview is text and not HTML based. With our new template being created, let's go to Sales Invoicing section and send a few invoices as emails. Before sending out a big batch of invoices by emails, it's always a good idea to preview one of them to make sure everything is correct. So with that in mind, let's select an invoice and click the Print button. Make sure you have the correct invoice template selected. Click on the screen as the output and preview what would be sent. If you're happy with your invoice layout and everything is as it should be, then we can come out of this screen and close the print dialog and select all the invoices that we want to send as an email. Having selected our invoices, again click on the Print button. Select the email with attachment as the output and select your appropriate email template. And click OK to email all your invoices. The system creates a log of all the emails that were sent, which you can view. For the purpose of this video, you will notice that I have changed the email address for each customer to the same test email account to make sure that these invoices don't go out to customers but actually land in our test mail account that we shall see in a few seconds. Now let's go to our mail client and take a look at these invoices that were sent out. As you can see, each email is customized to our client, and the attached invoices are specific to each client. This ability of being able to print a batch of invoices and have them sent out as emails is a very useful feature. Thank you for watching. If you have found this video useful, then please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to get notification of new videos.